the rotate tool. You can get that tool in your main toolbar right here, or you can go to your construction toolbar and get it right here. A few different methods inside here. We got active angle, 2 points, and 3 points. We'll go over each one of those. We'll just set it to active angle for right now. You do have the option that says about element center. We're not going to worry about that for this example. You do have copies, which we'll toggle on just to kind of show you how the tool works. But in this first method right here that says active angle, all we need to do is put in our angle. We'll just use 45 degrees for our example. Now we identify the element that we want to rotate. We'll just use this block as our example here. We'll identify it. Now it's going to say enter pivot point. Where do you want to scale it about? And this could be anywhere that you want to scale it about. It could be an endpoint of a line. It could be the center of a line. It could be the center of a shape. All depends on where that pivot point is going to be at. For this example here, we're going to use the center of this circle. And since it is a key point, we have our key point snap selected. Since the center of a circle is a key point on that particular shape, all we need to do is identify the center of that circle, and it places it out there, rotated 45 degrees from the center of that circle. You'll notice that the block is also rotating along with it. If we want to keep going, we can identify the center of that circle again, identify it again. But once we're finished with it, of course, go ahead and right click to reset it, and you're finished. Do a few undos to bring it back, which is this tool right here. Now if we come in here and let's change our method from active angle to 2 points. First thing we'll do is identify the item that we want to rotate. Left click on it. It's going to say enter pivot point. Where do you want to scale it about? And we'll just use the center of that circle again. You'll notice that it allows you to rotate that box around the center of that circle. But the only thing about the 2-point method is whenever it's kind of coming out here and rotating it, it's going from the angle of 0 around with it. It's kind of hard to kind of really pinpoint it down unless you're just kind of freely placing it out there depending on how you want to rotate it for this example here. So if you're just kind of freely doing it, the 2-point method works out pretty good. But if you're tying it down a little bit more, the 2-point method doesn't work quite as well. But once we left click to drop it off, right click to reset it, it does rotate that box, and also made a copy of it that's out there. So let's go ahead and do an undo. And for this example, the next one, which is our 3-point method, this one here kind of gives you a little bit more flexibility to rotate that box around to another point that you want to go to. And just kind of show you this, I'm going to draw a line from the center of this circle to the end of this line right here. I'll snap to it and drop it off. Then I'll go back to my rotate tool, and we do the same thing. We're going to change our method to 3 points. We'll identify the item that we want to rotate. Next thing, we'll identify our pivot point, which is the center of that circle, or the end of this line, since they do share that exact same point. But now, instead of just kind of freely rotating that box out there, now it's going to give you the option to enter point to define the start of rotation. So let's say we wanted the end of this circle, or the end of this line right here, this point, we'll just say this point of this box right here, and the end of this line right here to all line up. This tool right here will allow us to do that. So now we identify the point that we want to start the rotation, and I'll just grab the end of this box right here, and now you'll notice that as I rotate that box around, that's my kind of my pivot point that I'm rotating it about. So if I wanted all those to line up, the center of this circle to the end of this line as a straight line, I can come in here now and I can identify this line right here, since it's already placed out there, or I could identify the end point of this line at the top here. Place it, right click to reset it, and we're finished. So they all kind of line up together. So that's what the 3-point method allows you to do. It kind of gives you another option to kind of tie it down depending on where you want to start the rotation at for that particular item.